Good evening and welcome to Wednesday evening prayer. Let's see, this would make this Wednesday, August 12th. And I am actually standing here on Monday, August the 10th in Lake Junaluska, North Carolina, and wanted to do one more thing while I was here, which is to share the labyrinth experience with you. I am one of my favorite spiritual disciplines is the labyrinth, and they have one here, and I've been able to walk it several times while I have been here, and wanted to share that experience with you, partially because one of the things that is a dream of mine is to have something like this at the church, and for you to see what many of you may be familiar with the labyrinth, but for those who are not, to have an opportunity to see what this is one variation looks like. I will try to take a picture of this and project it up on the screen so you're not looking at this strange picture angle of me for an extended period of time. But I wanted to share a little bit about what the labyrinth is about, and the sign here at the beginning does some really helpful, succinct explanation. It says the labyrinth is a place for prayer and meditation. The labyrinth is found in many cultures and religious traditions as a walking meditation or path of prayer. Christians began using labyrinths in the Middle Ages as a metaphor for going on a transformational journey to the heart of God through Jesus Christ. We welcome you to walk our labyrinth as a spiritual practice or an opportunity to quiet your mind. Unlike a maze, a labyrinth has no wrong turns or dead ends. As you meet others on the path, you may pass them or let them step around you. There is a list of suggested guidelines. I won't read them all, but some that give you a sense of the practice. One says, say a prayer inviting God to accompany you on your walk at your own pace, stay in the center as long as you wish, and when you are ready, exit as you entered. And then the stages of the walk, I think this is the piece that I would just, it's so simple and it's so helpful. First, as you enter, releasing. As your feet find a rhythm, let go of the details of your life. Shed thoughts and distractions and let your mind become quiet. Think about that for a moment. Let your mind become quiet. That sounds like a not difficult thing, perhaps, but as you contemplate letting your mind become quiet from all the things that are asking for attention, that could be a challenge. And this is a wonderful way to literally walk into a space where you let your mind become quiet. At the center, receiving. When you reach the center, a place of meditation and prayer, stay there as long as you like and receive what is there for you to receive. And then finally, 3, as you leave the center, reintegration. As you retrace your steps, reintegrate what you experienced in the center with your life, returning to the world renewed and at peace. And it's interesting how that can work, that simply taking a walk like this, and moving from the outside to the inside and then from the in back out into the world can give you that renewal and that peace, just by doing this practice. And as we begin, I will pray. Lord, walk with us as we walk the labyrinth this evening, and help us to find what you have for us along the way. One of the wonderful features of the labyrinth is how unique many of them are. There are some famous ones which are duplicated in places, but each one has its own characteristics, and I like how there are times when, as with what we just saw, you walk very close to the center long before you ever reach the center, and you will find yourself having been so close to the center, then walking back towards the outside again, well before you ever reach the center, and how that mirrors our spiritual walk at times. We can feel so close to the place where we're trying to get to, and at the same time feel ourselves moving away from that place. And the way that can be frustrating, and what the labyrinth tells us is that while it may be frustrating, it's also part of the way things go. And if we trust the walk and we trust that God is with us, eventually we reach that center space that we are seeking. And so now we've moved from the very center and can look back to our beginning point. But now we are on the complete outside of the labyrinth. So as you are walking, you have that opportunity to think through the things that are between you and that place of stillness, that place of quiet and contemplation and renewal, and to release those things, to let go of those things, knowing that they will be there for you when you reemerge, but that as you walk, you can let those things drop away. And as we're walking, I would encourage you to give a thought to what is it that you would leave behind this evening? What is it that is perhaps hindering you or weighing on you that will have to be dealt with, and that will have to find some sort of resolution, but at the same time, something that you do not need to carry with you this evening. It's something that you can set behind and focus in this time on walking towards this centering place and finding what it is that God has to give you to sustain you and strengthen you this evening as we walk this labyrinth. And now this is another wonderful feature. Just as I talked about how you can be so close to the center and then move away, we're at this space where we are at the very outer piece of the labyrinth. And at this point, obviously, you can feel like we're as far away from the center as we can get, because we literally are as far away from the center as we can get. But as is very often the case, sometimes we can feel that far away feeling, and like the disciples in the scripture on Sunday who were in the boat, all of a sudden things change, and where once were storm-tossed seas, now we find ourselves watching as Jesus walks to us in a place where we thought Jesus would not show up, walking on the water, calming the storm, and we find ourselves in the center of the labyrinth, in that centering place. So we will pause here for a moment. Holy God, we ask that you would help each one to find what it is that you have for them here in this place this evening, that you would lift from them those things that we have considered as we've walked to this centering place, that you would give us a sense of calm and peace and an awareness that wherever we walk, you walk with us. Typically, I probably would have made my way in a little more slowly and would stay here a moment, but want you to have a sense of what this is about and what it's like. So having had that time to be in this place, and it's really, in a way, I hope this gives some sense of what this is like, because clearly you can look around and see everything out there in the world. It's not some magical experience where now I can't see what's out in the world, but at the same time, when you walk in here and you let things lift from you, there is something very special about being in this center place, and it goes with you. It's not as though you leave it behind here. So as we do walk out, you'll remember that last step that was on the sign as we made our way in, talked about taking this with us, what we found here, and taking it with us as we reintegrate back into the world. And so you repeat the journey, except on this side of it, we take the journey out away from the centering place and back out into the world. But we have been reminded that the center holds, that God is with us, and that whatever the noise is in our lives, that God goes with us. You may be thinking about, it's early, so there's no one else here right now. There is was an instruction on the sign about if someone else is on the path and you simply move over out of their way. There's something that's really nice about that experience of sharing the path, because we're sharing the world, we're sharing the space with others, so that sense of everybody does this at their own pace. So at times somebody might be going the same direction as you, and you may walk around them, or they may walk around you, or they may be coming out and you may be going in. And it's a great reminder that we meet people at different places in the journey. So there may be days when we're feeling great and others are feeling really the weight of things, or it may be the other way around, and we may be feeling the weight of things and others may be having a really great day. And that each of us is in the world at our own pace, but in a way we share it. We share the space. And that's what happens on the labyrinth, is that one will step aside and the other will go through. And it's an understanding that you have as you walk this path. Well, as I was saying earlier, I'm sure there are many of you who have walked a labyrinth before and have had this experience, but some of you perhaps have not, and I hope that this has been helpful in seeing what it is and what it can be like. Again, I've done this at a little quicker pace than normally I might have done it, but I think that you have the sense of the entering and the centering and then the going forward that takes place. So I thank you for sharing with me this walk this day here at the labyrinth at Lake Junaluska, and I hope that your Wednesday evening is a blessed one and that the rest of your week goes well. Peace. I do want to share this prayer with you as we finish out this Wednesday evening prayer. This is a prayer that is attributed to a nun from the 17th century. I searched around a little bit on the internet and couldn't find any verification that it was from the 17th century or of its origin, but it is a wonderful prayer, so I invite you to pray with me. Lord, thou knowest better than I know myself that I am growing older and will someday be old. Keep me from the fatal habit of thinking that I must say something on every subject and every occasion. Release me from craving to straighten out everybody's affairs. Make me thoughtful but not moody, helpful but not bossy. With my vast store of wisdom, it seems a pity not to use it all, but thou knowest, Lord, that I want a few friends at the end. Seal my lips on my aches and pains, for love of rehearsing them will become sweeter as the years go by. Teach me the glorious lesson that occasionally I may be wrong. Keep me reasonably sweet. A sour old person is one of the crowning works of the devil. Give me the ability to see good things in unexpected places and talents in unexpected people, and give me, O Lord, the grace to tell them so. Amen. Again, blessings on the rest of your week.